In this video, we'll show you how to transform your oak banister from this to this in 10 steps using a General Finishes oil-based gel stain for the railing and newel posts and a Behr semi-gloss urethane Alkyd enamel paint for the balusters, stair stringers, and molding. The time requirements for this project will depend on the size of your banister and whether or not you can convince someone to join you in the fun. Our project, with 26 feet of railing, 5 newel posts, and 54 balusters, took 8 full days to complete with 2 people painting the balusters. When using products mentioned in this video, please be sure to follow the manufacturer's instructions and safety procedures. The first step is to clean all surfaces that are to be stained or painted. We use Savagran TSP phosphate-free cleaner because it does an amazing job of removing dirt and grime and ensures the surface will be able to accept paint. Mix the dry powder to warm water according to the instructions. Dip your lint-free rag into the solution, then thoroughly scrub the wood surface. Rinse and refill your bucket with warm water, then wipe down the wood again with a clean rag to remove any residue. Using a 220 grit sandpaper, sand all the surfaces where you'll be applying gel stain. You want to remove the old polyurethane top coat so the new gel stain will be able to absorb into the wood. As you progress, look for any shiny spots and sand the wood to dull the finish. Since you'll be using a gel stain, it's not necessary to sand down to the bare wood. When you're done, vacuum up the sawdust and wipe down the surfaces with a damp rag to remove any residue. Replace any missing or damaged mushroom wood buttons by adding a dab of wood glue. You can measure the shank to determine the size you need. We found these on Amazon. Patch any gouges or cracks with wood putty, then when dry, sand with a 220 grit sandpaper. Wipe away any dust, then tape off any surfaces that border the railing and newel posts with a high-quality painter's tape. For our project, we taped the top of the balusters near the railing, around the base of the newel posts, and where the railing meets the wall. Protect the floor and stairs from accidental drips by using cardboard, a canvas drop cloth, or plastic sheeting. Now you're ready to apply your first coat of gel stain. Open some nearby windows and use a fan to circulate air out of the room for a safer environment. Wearing a pair of nitrile gloves, stir up the stain, then use a foam brush to apply it to the railing and newel posts in the direction of the grain. Working in 1 to 2 foot sections, gently wipe away the excess stain in the direction of the grain with a lint-free rag, leaving a thin coat of stain to absorb into the wood. As you progress, take a moment to look back at your work to ensure you're creating a uniform appearance. If you want the wood grain to be visible in the final product, aim for a lighter first coat. You can always make it darker by adding additional coats of stain later. Allow the first coat to dry for at least 6 to 8 hours. While the first coat of gel stain is drying, use a paintable caulk to seal any gaps, cracks, or nail holes, only in the surfaces you will be painting. A damp paper towel will help even out the thickness of the caulk. Tape off the walls and stairs in preparation for painting. You'll tape off the railing later. Thankfully, the second coat of gel stain goes on much faster. We decided not to use a foam brush for this coat, instead using a lint-free rag to apply the gel stain, then gently wiping away the excess to get the consistency we were looking for. Once you're finished, allow the gel stain to dry for 24 hours. We were happy with the look of our railing and newel post after 2 coats, but you may add another coat if desired. Remove the tape from the balusters and base of the newel posts, then add tape to the bottom of the railing, keeping the tape flat without wrapping around the sides. We used the Zinsser Bullseye 123 primer for this project. Applying one light coat to the balusters, stair stringers, and molding creates the perfect base for the paint to grab onto. Use a small, flat, art paintbrush when applying primer and paint around the base of the newel posts. We tried taping off the newel posts so we could paint around them, but discovered the tape pulled away some of the gel stain. If this happens to you, you can just sand that area and then touch it up later with a rag or brush. After the primer is dried for 30 minutes, look for any nail holes, gaps, or gouges that have been revealed and conceal them with paintable caulk. After the caulk is dried, you're ready to start painting. Use a brush to apply the paint in thin coats to the balusters, stair stringers, and molding, periodically looking back to brush away any runs that have formed. Be sure to paint the entire baluster while the paint is still wet. Painting one side and allowing the paint to dry may leave a visible line. Having someone help with the balusters will prevent you from having to walk back and forth to paint both sides and will end up saving you a lot of time. We applied 2 coats of paint with dry time in between, then touched up any areas that needed it. After removing the tape, we noticed a few areas on the stairs that needed attention. We reapplied tape to those areas, then painted them with a small brush. We also used a foam brush to touch up any areas that required gel stain. After allowing the gel stain to dry for 3 days, we applied a Minwax water-based polycrylic top coat, brushing it in the direction of the grain in a thin layer. Then, after 2 hours of dry time, we applied a second coat to the top and sides of the railing and to the newel post caps, where our hands are most likely to make contact. We didn't add a second top coat under the railing or below the newel post caps. Although this project is time-consuming and tedious, the results are rewarding and well worth the time and effort. Our banister is a fresh, modern look and was completed at a fraction of the cost of paying someone else to do it. When approaching your project, break it up into the smaller steps mentioned in this video. Focusing on one step at a time and taking a break between each step will make the project more enjoyable and will increase the likelihood of your success. If you found this video helpful, please click on the like button and subscribe to this channel. Good luck with your project.